Hey everyone, Tapdog here with Little Alchemist Helper, and today I am wanting to discuss a game announcement that Monumental made on all their social channels and kind of give you guys the scoop of what's going to be happening here in a couple weeks when the season ends. So let's jump into that announcement from them. So it's a couple parts. I'm going to break it down here, but the first part they said, we're thrilled to announce that we're making some changes to the arena, all thanks to your valuable feedback. With the start of the next arena season, we're going to be rolling out two exciting changes. To start with, it's the arena season star reset. So you can say goodbye to starting from scratch. Instead of resetting to 0, players will now begin the season with stars based on their final league ranking at the time of the arena restart. This tweak aims to balance matchmaking and promote competitive gameplay. And then underneath it, it kind of gives you the breakdown for this upcoming season. Basically, this is how many stars you will start with depending on which ranking that you end the season in. So if you're at the very top in Legendary 3, the top 40 or so players right now, they're going to start with 160 stars. And the people all the way on the bottom in Bronze 1 would start with 0 stars. That's compared to previously, everyone would start with 0 stars. Now, when I first read this news update, I looked at it on Facebook because I didn't have Discord open when they sent the announcement out, but I had Facebook open. And they did not include that little last section showing the ranks from Bronze to Legendary. And so I read it to mean that you're not going to start with 0. You'll start with the same amount of stars you had previously. And I did not like that because I was thinking, let's say I take off, stop playing for a month or two, or even just a couple of weeks because I'm on vacation or something. And the season resets. And so then I have people where maybe I was in a lower ranking, so I had less stars. And then these people have more stars plus the time that I was off. And so I was picturing maybe 10,000 star difference that you had to try to make up. And that would take weeks to do. You can get maybe 2,000 stars, maybe a little bit more than that in a week, just to give you an idea if you win every single battle and use every single battle. So that was my concern, that there's just no way. Maybe you can make a little bit more stars than that. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but point is, it would take you weeks to catch up potentially if that was the case. So I did not like this, but then thankfully the Discord did have the actual numbers there. So it's basically at most you're starting with an extra 10 or so, 11 or so wins over the other people who were at the bottom of the ranks. So it's an okay change. I don't think it's really going to do anything because I use all my turns at the end of the season so I can place as high as possible. So then I won't actually start the following season until, 10, 15 hours later when all my stars have reset. So it's just going to, I guess, save me an extra 10 turns. I don't know. But I can see how that could be a problem for some people where the very first week of the season they're having to place battles against harder people. But I think you're still going to have that issue because people play differently the last day of the season versus any time else. So that's the first change. Let's talk about the second change. Arena UI changes are incoming. Attack and defense decks. Now you have the power to select an attack deck for battling in the arena and a defensive deck for opponents to face. Choose wisely and strategize effectively. Also, the UI display upgrade, you're going to witness a sleeker UI allowing you to select a specific deck and even modify the alchemist power used by that deck. No more guesswork, you can pick your optimal strategy. And then also it says an important note, changing your arena attack deck here will select it to use in other game modes, so be mindful of your choice. And then they also had future plans. Stay tuned for some more changes, including making it easier to pick decks for various game modes and encouraging diverse arena strategies. The new deck selector will be available shortly after the season begins on February 20th. Ready to embrace this new era of arena battles? So that is the second update, the arena UI changes. And thankfully, Tiggs, our community director for Monumental, did post a couple photos to kind of give a tease of what it's going to look like. So I think is this the right size? I might have to reduce the size on this just a tad bit, sorry. Yeah, okay. So this is an example of, here's your arena screen, right? And now it has a little thing down below where you can select what you want to use. So which deck you want to use for attack, which is what you'd be using every time you enter the arena to battle. And then defensive, this is what all your opponents would see when they fight you. And so you'd be able to have a difference on both of those. You can choose the same deck and even have a different alchemist type on there, which is nice. Or you could choose a second deck. So what is the purpose of that? Well, it's going to make it more challenging for the higher level players, because right now there's that whole having to remember that when you leave the game, switch to your away deck. You don't have to do that anymore. You set your away deck once, and if you want to make changes to it, you can, but once you choose which deck's your away deck, that will always be your away deck unless you choose a separate one. So you don't have to worry about, did I choose the right one or not? That also allows you to kind of come up with fun strategies for different types of away decks. Maybe you want to make one that is the kitchen sink that I've talked about before, where your opponent has no idea what is going to be thrown at them when you get your full combo meter, so they have to stay on their toes. Or you can just do one that's fully attack, fully defense, a lobotomizer deck, whatever suits you. I think that's going to allow for some more deck variety, and I think it's going to help make the battles more interesting. Instead of having the same tiebreaker battles again and again and again, your opponents are all going to be the whatever they want to be for their away deck. I know it was very noticeable when tiebreaker got switched to Enchanter from Elementalist, because almost every opponent you choose now in the arena will be green, as previously they all were red. And at that point, they could have still been using the other red abilities, but you didn't know necessarily unless you actually battled them. But with green, that's the only viable green option. So they're playing tiebreaker. It makes it a little bit easier. But you can now throw some wrenches in their plans. Maybe you use Combo Meter or Combo Master or whatever that other green one is. I don't think they're really good, so I wouldn't use them. But you do have that potential. She did share one other photo as well. This one's a little bit bigger, so I might have to reduce the size. It looks like it fits on the screen. So this is going to be also showing you your decks, and you can choose from this screen which deck you want to be your attack one, which one you want to be your defense one, and then you can also choose what ability you want to be used on that deck, all from this one screen. I think this is, I assume the previous page, this little small portion on the bottom will be put on the Heroics page, hopefully. That would be great. If it's not, that's something I suggest, Monumental. Even if it's a later update, that just having that ability to change from that one page and not have to go all the way back and all the way forward would be great. But this is just the other little preview they shared with us, which I think looks nice, makes sense. And then you can't see it here, but there's also now going to be a 5th deck slot. So originally the game had 3. They added the 4th one, which is a lifesaver for us. Now we have a 5th one. Can't complain about that. That's just going to let you try out new things, have a lot more fun with creating decks that are different. Then last little bit of the update here. General fixes that are going to be coming. They resolved an issue affecting AI orb functionality. I believe what this is currently in-game. If you battle someone who's using Final Form cards that are not Critical Strike or Crushing Blow, so any of the ones that they changed to be costing only 4 orbs, when your opponent gets 3 orbs and they have those cards in their hand, they try to use it even though they're not supposed to be able to use it, which results in them just playing the card not with its ability. So if they have Wolf Warrior, it basically lets you do a one-shot KO against them because they don't get to reflect that damage back or significantly take out a lot of their health. So that bug is being fixed, which is a good thing. It's going to make some of that cheese go away. Other little note that's good here, Arena Day 5 gems is going to be increased to 30 from 20, so that's a 50% increase. What that means collectively is over the course of a month, you're getting an extra 60 gems, so not bad. That's a quarter of a pack more. How many packs a year is that? 60 times 12 is 720, so almost three more packs for free a year. Can't complain, right? That's the free gems is free gems. They just changed the wording for the logout button in the settings to be the login logout buttons to say link and unlink. So it's linking your Google account or linking your Apple account and unlinking it. So that way you just understand that a little bit better than login and logout. And then, like I mentioned earlier, the maximum deck has now increased to 5 instead of 4, so you can just try out different methods, try out more things. Or, if you really wanted to, if you happen to have 6 copies of a card and you don't want to accidentally recycle them, you can have 2 decks now for your keep piles. You have your deck 4 and deck 5. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you could. Some people like to do that. I think with the changes to recycling and filtering, that is a little bit less needed because I just sort by newest and recycle that way. And as long as you stay up on that, you should be good. Obviously, when new packs come out, there'll be a day there where you might have to mess around and recycle. But outside of that, just sorting by newest and recycling is the easiest way to recycle now. It takes it a whole lot quicker. I still think they need to reduce the animation for recycling because if you have multiple cards, it still has to look at each one being recycled one at a time. I don't think it's needed since you selected the cards already, but yeah. Anywho, all of these I think are good changes, and you'll be seeing them in about a week and a half from now on the 20th. That's all I have to say. Just I'm excited. Thank you, Monumental. All right. Take care, guys.